Hello there. This is a first for me. I've never done anything like any content on the internet before, but I have to say this is just too spicy. I have to give my 2 cents on it. If you haven't noticed yet, there has been a bit of a controversy surrounding the wraith recently. If you know True Talent, he has played a lot of wraith recently, and he has found a very interesting playstyle, and he has sparked up quite the conversation. And I think I have something to add that hasn't been properly brought up recently in the. Well, yeah, I want to give my 2 cents on it. So, we currently have a problem with our debate, and the problem is language. We need to define what is winning, and we need to define what viable means. Because if we don't agree on that, we can never say is wraith viable. Because if, let's say, viable means that he gets 4Ks often, well, yeah, but if someone doesn't think that, then we can never agree, and then we can't come to a conclusion. Like, our current definition seems to be that getting a 4K as often as possible, but I think we haven't considered other options yet. And we need to define what success means. True Talent seems to define success as ranking up. How good of a his main point is he doesn't understand the game where you win but you don't rank up. For example, you can get a 4K but not rank up, and that's his point. And odds, and I think the main point of the main way of considering success is getting a 4K. But we need to define what winning and viable means. We need to define what winning means. We need to think is viable being that it can win any theme, or that it can be successful very often. And I think in respect to that, we should add counterdowns in. I know we need to counterdowns in and apply it to everyone, like Ott said, and because, like True Talent said, add-ons are a part of the killer. People at higher ranks, believe it or not, use add-ons, and that means that people at high ranks are playing viable killers with add-ons. Well, not necessarily viable, but they wouldn't be there if they weren't playing viable killers, and add-ons are an important part of that. So I think the kind of the king approach, sorry if I remembered your name correctly, incorrectly, approach to tier lists is no add-ons, and in my opinion that doesn't give the killer their full potential. I think every killer should be measured by what's their full potential. And for example, True Talent said that he just started playing Wraith. He isn't a Wraith main, and he was very successful. But if you just start playing a killer and you're successful, that doesn't mean it's a good killer. That means it's an easy killer, in my opinion. And that's why I think player skill is unimportant for this issue, because like the people at the higher ranks, they are very skilled, or they should be at least, because they wouldn't be at the higher ranks if they weren't. And since viable, we probably consider whatever the definition of viable is, we consider it at the higher ranks, because that's a higher level of play so far, at least. And so we need to define those, and after that we need data, because we can say that, well, the hunter, like for example Ott said that he believes, I know he said he believes, he didn't say it as a fact, that if I remember correctly, he said that Huntress with her best add-ons, like there's like iridescent tattoos, or Nurse with her best add-ons would win every single game, or something like that. And I think, yeah, we could say that, but who knows? We don't have the data. Who has gathered data? Tell me. Okay, yeah, we have Ots did for his video, but is there an data analyst in our community? Like for example, like you say, well, Insidious Baba is the best killer in the game. He has the best build, and Insidious Wraith is also the best killer in the game. But if I don't have any proof for that, I can't really say that. I know that Huntress and Nurse are really good killers, but still, we need to be skeptical about that, because we actually can't really know. Even though it's very clear that the powers are very good, they basically make loops. They kind of invalidate loops, kind of like Trapper, but wherever they are. The Trapper, this needs to be territorial, and I don't wanna get that into that. But yeah, that's the problem here, and we need to set a proper standard to compare everyone to. Like, we need to figure out, okay, let's say this killer with his best add-ons. Let's say we take my method, for example, but it doesn't have to be my method. So killer with the best add-ons, the best player, and see what the maximum potential is. And I'd like for them to be, their maximum potential be not only the measured by kills, but how well they do, because in my opinion True Talent makes a good point. If you win but you don't rank up, that doesn't make any sense. At least in my opinion, unless you're being carried or something. But anyway, that's we need to set a standard. Let's say that's the standard, and after we have figured that out, then we can start properly thinking about what is the best killer. Because if you set a standard, then we don't have to argue about, well, I think the best killer is this because of that, and then someone says, no, you're measuring it wrong. We won't have that problem anymore. And even if we can't get, which we never can get 100% agreement, believe me, it's the internet, you know, come on. If you can't get everyone to agree, they just take the majority, because that's most of the player base, and I think the devs should be also considering the game in that way. And that makes it to my last point. Well, not last point, but second to last. This is not a pointless exercise. This is not just like, well, yeah, who cares about Wraith or what's the best killer, just have fun. Well, this is not a pointless exercise, because if we can figure out what are the best killers, we can figure out what are the worst killers. And then we'll be like, hey devs, fix a game. This killer is bad because this, and this. We've gathered data, we know, so fix them. And then we can start to improve the game. And in my opinion, this is why it's just an important discussion, because if you figure this out, and if you agree, we can improve the game. So, but also my point has an issue. How do we gather that data? Well, I don't have an answer. But well, it isn't my job. This is just a suggestion. I think the data is very important, and I think Ots did a very good first step. He proved somewhat that ruin isn't necessary, and also we shouldn't think. Well, yeah, I think we just need more data. But the problem is that this game has a lot of variance, randomness and the like, player skill variance, many different perk combinations. Like, it's insane. Like, for example, I haven't done the math, but let's say I think it's like, since there are 4 perks, 4 perk slots, I mean, isn't it like the number of like perk slots times the the number of perks to the power of the number of the perk slots? And if it's that, and this is a pretty generous estimate, there are about 800,000 combinations, and that's insane. We can't test them all to figure out what's the best build. The best we can do, the best we can do, is just like putting our heads together and being like, I think this is the best build, and be like, okay, we think that's the best build. Let's go with that. Let's gather the data. So, those are my main points. But again, play what you want. We play this game to have fun, and I don't care what the best killer is. Like, I love Wraith. I love Wraith. I love Mr. Bing Bong Boy. Okay, he gonna bing bong and then steal your dong. But anyway, like, it's fun to play, so I play him. And yeah, I do sometimes I do well, sometimes I do badly. I'm not that much of an experienced player, but that doesn't mean I don't get my points are like invaluable. I mean, not valuable, whatever. Anyway, what do you think? I'll be posting this on Reddit and on my YouTube channel. Please share it if you think I made good points. If I made bad points, go ahead, dislike, downvote, and tell me why I made bad points. Because I like the dislike to like or upvote to like ratio be a good way to establish how many people agree with me. But yeah, what do you think? Write it down below in the comment section, and keep it civil, please keep it civil. I think Odds and True Talent are doing a very good job keeping it civil, and they have addressed that people are fucking assholes sometimes, and they don't know how to argue about opinions that everyone has right to have. So that's my 2 cents. I'll probably go put some like gameplay footage or something, so you don't get bored of my voice that easily. And yeah, that's it. So tell me what you think. I'm out.